Welcome yourself to this time for practice. Take in the breath. The waves of Om singing us a tune here. These words of gratitude from Morgan Harper Nichols. I hope you do not feel like you shouldn't be able to talk about how difficult it is to wait and trust in the process. Please do not let anyone make you feel like you're automatically ungrateful just because you are struggling to see where the light pours in. Yes, a daily practice of gratitude is incredibly valuable to your well-being, but it does not mean that you have to pretend you are immune to the strong emotions that come with waiting. Learning to trust in the process is about learning to trust that there is so much happening beneath the surface, beneath the layers of worries, doubts, and long lists of things you have not figured out. There's endless, boundless grace that gives you room to feel what you need to feel, while also moving forward one step at a time. Let this be what you're grateful for, the opportunity to keep going, to keep trying. To keep waking up each morning knowing that even if you didn't have the best start, or even if the failures of yesterday still seem to haunt you, you are free to try again. You are free to trust and embrace the process of learning every lesson you need to learn that you know is only going to prepare you for whatever lies ahead. We start the movement easy, chin down to chest, rock the head from side to side. Right ear towards the right shoulder. Extend the fingertips out to the side. Whoops, left hand. And then take the right hand on top of the left ear and give it a little tug out. Bring it back to the center, switch directions. Left ear to left shoulder, right fingertips out, left hand on top of the right ear. Bring the hands back to the thighs, chin back down to the chest. Hands behind the head, give the push of the head into the hands so you feel taller, more lifted. And in response, a stretch down the spine and a welcoming hug of navel towards the spine to strengthen, to stabilize. As you release the hands, lift the head. Open the eyes and stretch the arms all the way up to the sky. Big side bend. Reach over to one side and kind of curl around towards more of a cat-shaped back. Come to the center, both arms high. Second direction, fingertips down, up and over. And then look more towards the floor, round the back. Open to the side again, lift both arms high. And greet your center, greet the intention, the space for practice today. Make your way over to all fours. Clear the space on your mat. Mine's going to involve pushing off a doggy. Okay, all fours, cat and cow. Let the spine move back and forth, up and down. Feel free to wag a little more side to side, whatever feels nice for you here. And then as you are ready, downward facing dog. Stretch all the way up and back. Pedal out your feet. Keep the freedom, movement here. A few big sighs through the breath. Anytime you're doing something hard, a good exhale out through the mouth can be super helpful. Give yourself that throughout the practice. Step your right foot forward to the lunge. Take several steps until you find the full stride. Knee over the line of the ankle. Keep the back leg lifted, make it straight. Square off the hips. And then add a twist, right hand to the sky. Lift, lift, lift. Let's take it to our down dog lunge. Spin the back heel down, walk the hands out. You choose, hands to the side or more forward today. What are you feeling? Where do you need it? Today is a little more emphasis on the softening, the slowing, the stretch. Bring it back into your regular low lunge, so back heel up. And then set the back knee down. Twisted monkey. Heel toe the right foot out to the side. Pull the left heel in towards the butt so you get a quad stretch. That's the first form of the pose. Maybe look over the top shoulder. You want to go for it here. Hold on to the back foot with the right hand. And then release the back foot down. Step it back to downward facing dog. And then make a figure 4 shape. Right ankle over the left thigh. Point the right knee out to the side. Bend the left knee. So you're sitting pretty low in this. I do this on occasion, but often we lie on our back and make this shape. So just using a little more force to find the opening as we start. All right, back to downward facing dog. Second side, step the left foot forward. Sometimes I get in a flow of starting these 4 lunges with y'all, and then we've been out of that flow for a while. Just a reminder, left hand high in the twist. The reason I put these 4 lunge shapes together at the beginning of practice is so you get a 360 view of how the hips are feeling, needing from your practice today. Can be a really great way to spend 5 minutes on the mat if you're just looking for a quick opening for yourself. Back heel down, walk the hands out for down dog lunge. And then you walk it back in, set the back knee down, walk the left foot out to the side, maybe even turn the toes, knee out. Give more weight to the right hand and pull the right heel towards your butt. Adding on, look back over the left shoulder and hold on, left hand to the right foot. Release everything. Go back to downward facing dog. And cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Make the figure 4 shape. Bend the right knee. The more you bend into the standing leg here, the deeper you'll find that opening and stretch most likely. The shape in the legs is called Sukirandrasana. So Suki dog. Okay, 2 feet to the ground, full downward facing dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet. So you're at the end of your mat. In your forward fold, bend your knees. Good old ragdoll, really let it hang. Exhale and push the breath out. Slow roll up to standing. Take a meditative walk to the front end of your mat, meaning purposeful, with intention. Sun salutation A. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat down against your yoga mat. Peel the chest up, cobra. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Breathe here. Next breath, look in between the hands and move forward, a step or a jump. Half lift, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Do it 2 more times like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, nice long extension through the spine. Step back to plank. Lower flat down to your yoga mat. Pick the chest up for cobra and stretch back to downward facing dog. Next, inhale, gaze between the hands. Step or jump forward on the exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand, reach the arms up. Palms together, center of the chest. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let breath and body move in meditation together. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Peel the chest up, be broad across the collarbone. Lovely. Downward facing dog, hips all the way up and back. Steady your breath. Inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand up, arms to the sky, palms to the chest. Keep going. Utkatasana this time. Sit into the thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower to the mat. Can you try straight arms, straight legs, hips up, legs up? Up dog. Down dog, hips up and back. Step the right foot forward, spin the back heel down. Warrior 1. Build the torso upright, arms to the sky. Pause here, take a couple of breaths in Warrior 1. Feel the strength, the integrity, the stability in the legs and the core. And then lower the hands either side of the front foot. Step back to plank. Lower down. Again, try up dog, straight arms, legs, everything up except for the hands on top of the feet. And then down dog. Step the left foot forward, spin the back heel down. Line up about heel to heel so that you still have hip width. As you come upright, lift the arms. Great way to modify, change up, vary the poses. It's like take one thing away, add one thing on top. So if lifting the arms feels like too much of a reach today, you just keep them down and still get to find that strengthening component in the legs. Lower the hands either side of the front foot, step back. Lower down. Now you choose cobra or up dog each time, and downward facing dog. Look in between the hands, step or jump forward. Ardha Uttanasana is the half lift. Uttanasana is forward fold. Go back to chair pose, bend the knees, sit into your thighs. Utkatasana translates as fierce pose, actually. And stand up, hands at the heart. Take in a breath. Let it go. One more time like that, take in a breath. Let it go. Utkatasana, back to fierce pose. This time add a twist, palms together, left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, tone and turn in the abdomen, and look to the side or up. Untwist and move to the second side, right elbow now to the outside of the left thigh. You can pin it down or stay more lifted, air and space in between, you choose. Untwist, forward fold, half lift, or get in the flow, step back, lower down, cobra, up dog, down dog. Right foot forward, keep the back heel lifted this time, come upright in the torso. And take your twist, left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Great way to find a variation here is don't clasp the hands, just cross the elbow. Sometimes I take that hand to the top shoulder and it feels just a little more supportive. Of course, palms together works as well. Slowly untwist so you save your balance. Step back to plank. Lower. Lift the chest. Down dog. Left foot forward. Again, back heel stays lifted. Come upright. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Take your time to find your twist. Back knee can be down against the mat for a lot more support and connection there. And unwind it. Again, you find plank pose. Lower down. Up dog or cobra, down dog. Be with your breath in this downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Chair pose. Stand up, hands to the heart. Take a wide stance on your yoga mat. So face the side. Take a nice wide stance. Extend the arms out in either direction. Turn your right toes out. I'm going to try to mirror everybody. So turn the right toes out. Back toes stay straight ahead or a little turned in. A little turned in can make things a little more doable as you go to triangle pose here. Reach as far as you can to your right. And then drop the fingertips down to the floor. On the inside of your leg. Or use your leg for a little more height and support. Lower the top hand down. Resituate your legs for pyramid pose. So turn that back foot in a little bit more, but try not to cut off the length of your stride. Here's what we're trying today. Hands to the waist. Stand all the way up in the torso. And then a couple of times flow down and up with the torso. Make your head come closer to the toes. And then back up. Try to keep your balance. We've worked a lot on core stability through this month. Give it a go here. Lift your kneecaps, tone in the quads so you're a little less wobbly. And try to press through the pad of your big toes. The outer edge of the heels. Next time you're forward, stay forward and down, hands down again. That's playing with our range of motion. And then left hand stays on the ground. Lift the right hand again. Maybe open up those back toes a little bit to make that return to triangle pose doable. On your inhale, come all the way upright. And switch on over to the other side. Turn the back toes a little bit in. Front toes all the way out. Extend the arms. Reach as far as you can. Now to the left side. Left fingertips down, right arm up. One more breath here. Top hand comes down. As both hands find the floor, do a little adjustment in the leg. So I'm going to barely pull in the back leg. Try to keep most of the length of the stride. But rotate the toes more towards the line of the front toes. Push through your big toe pads, the outer edges of the heels. That helps to balance us. Hands to the waist. Come upright in the torso. And then nice and slow and steady, go up and down in the torso. With the hands at the waist, try pulling the left hip up and back, the right hip around and down. Just slow feeling of those tendencies. Front hip up, back hip around and down. Remember, lift the kneecaps, tone in the quads. And then stay down, hands back to the ground. Left hand, left foot, stay forward and take the top arm back up to the sky for triangle pose. Make those little shifts in the back leg as needed. All right, another good push through the feet so that you can come upright. Turn your feet parallel to one another now. Wide-legged forward fold. Make the hands touch down to the floor, right underneath the line of the shoulders. Think long spine, like half lift of our sun salutations, Ardha Uttanasana, that lengthening of the spine. And then we want to keep the length as the hands come towards the same line as the feet, head down towards the floor. Here in our wide-legged forward fold, it's Prasarita Padottanasana. Keep the hands as is or take them to hold on to your ankles. If you're holding on to the ankles, bend your elbows out towards either side to keep lengthening and extending the head down towards the mat. All of this steady strength and stretch in the legs, so handy as we work towards Tibetan Weaponry 3 for this practice. Okay, look towards the front of your mat, travel around to a low lunge, and then step back to downward facing dog. In down dog, find side plank on the left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Stack the feet for a moment, take the right hand up, and then step the right foot forward, that kickstand foot. And can you lift your hips like 3-4 inches higher until you feel a great stretch happening in your IT band? Outside of the hip, outside of the thigh. Now place both hands back to the mat, back to downward facing dog. And approach that for the second side. Balance on the right hand, outer edge of the right foot. For a moment, take that strength challenge. Stack the feet, lift the left arm high, side plank. 1 breath, 2 breaths, that's how we get the opportunity to keep trying. And then step the left foot forward. If I forget, I'll start to lower through the hips. Instead, press through the hand to get the hips up higher. Keep the weight in your feet instead of the hand. More sustainable and gets that stretch in the outer hip that I want here for you. Change it back, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank and lie flat down on your belly. Take the hands wider than your yoga mat. Fingertips to the floor. Point the elbows up to the sky. We're doing these big wide cobras. Press into the fingertips, ridge tops. Lift your chest up. Feel the stretch and the opening. Always a nice little squeeze in the glutes so that it just doesn't get too caught in the low back. And then imagine ocean waves just kind of coming and going. And let your shoulders dip down and back as you see fit. Kind of side to side, look over the shoulders. Get a more full wave-like action in the upper body. This one's kind of up to you. What feels nice here? Unstick ourselves as much as possible. All right, and then we're going to take it back to child's pose. First child's pose that I've led us into for the class. Reach the arms out long in front, that Good stretch in the lats. Walk the hands a little over to the right side. And across the center, on over to the second side. And come back into the middle, up to all fours. And swing your right foot around for a lunge with the back knee down. Bring your hands up to the front thigh. Let your hips move a little down and forward. And again, we're gonna visualize a little bit of a wave rushing in and out. So this is sort of a constant movement. Gentle, easy, but constant. And then stay down, hips down and forward. Front foot still flat on the ground. Bring the hands to the inside of the foot. You can always walk that foot a little more out to the side to give yourself some space here, what feels nice. Okay, and then focusing on the outer edge of the right foot, staying on the mat. Lift the big toe, kind of like peeling open, like you're opening a book. The knee, the hip go a little bit out to the side, and then bring it back in. And do that a couple of times. Peel out and in. Be gentle with yourself here. Don't overdo this one. Forearm lunge. Come down, down, down. Forearms can be on the ground or underneath the height of a yoga block or something with height. I didn't pull my blocks, they're pretty close, but I didn't pull them out today. And I tried that on the forearms. It's not feeling quite right, so you could always just balance on the hands as well. And kind of bend and straighten through the elbows to give you the same experience. Okay, pull yourself back up more towards neutral, torso straight up and down. And then I'm hoping you have enough space where you're working to heel toe that right foot all the way out to the side. Gatekeeper pose. With the right leg out, lift the left arm up and lean towards the right leg. For the sake of working stabilizing muscles in the core, have your right hand holding onto your left wrist. So we're not using the hand to stabilize. And then bring that all the way back up to neutral. Now the hands come back down like you're in all fours with the right leg out to the side. And I want you to find a stretch on the inner thighs. So I'm going to keep walking my right leg out. I'm going to go lower down to the forearms until you're finding a stretch to the inner thigh. For some folks, this is sitting more back into the heel and then stretching out through the right leg. Slowly, carefully crawl it back up to all fours. Then hands to the waist, upright in a kneeling position. This is camel pose without reaching the hands back. I want your hands to stay at your waist the whole time. Let's squeeze your elbows back towards each other. Push your hips forward. As you find more weight leaning into the back of the wrist, Look up towards the sky. Squeeze your butt so you can feel that hug in the hands. And then back to neutral. Left foot swings around to the front. And do the hips down and forward, up and back here. So start in that first sage. Forward and back. Good. Stay at your lower point, down and forward. With the foot flat, take the hands to the inside. Pause there for a moment. Again, you might want to scoot the left foot a little bit more out to the left side so that you've got some space to work with. Just changing my orientation to maybe make it easier to see things. And then like you're opening up a book, keep the outer edge of the foot on the mat, but peel your big toe, inner edge of the heel up, and then squeeze it shut. Peel it out, squeeze it shut. And it's of course not just the turning of the foot, that's just the most noticeable angle that changes. It's also the opening in the knee and the hip joints. So this one's mobility because you're working with several joints. Keep the sole of the foot back on the mat and go to forearm lunge. So where does that lead you today? If I go outer forearm first and kind of lean away, a lot of times I can kind of maneuver to make that more doable. And then I'm remembering in my head, I didn't want this to be overly hard or taxing for me today. And so I'm going to go back up to the hands. That feels like a better place to be. Be with yourself in the way that feels best for you today. Friends, slowly bring yourself upright. And then the left foot, heel toes out, out, out to the side until you end up in the shape of gatekeeper with the left foot out. Send the right arm up to the sky and lean over. I might look opposite to you guys here. I'm not trying to mirror now. And then left hand holds on to the right wrist. Come back to your neutral. Hands down like you're in all fours, but with one leg out to the side. And then can that leg go a little further out? And maybe sit back a bit into the hips. This one's always tricky for me. Sometimes it works better than others. Great reminder that there's that opportunity of gratitude to just keep looking at it from day to day, to keep trying. Strengthens the outer hip while stretching the inner hip. Adductors, abductors working together. Bring the foot back in, come up to your kneeling position with hands only at the waist, not finding your feet. Squeeze the elbows in. So to make this just a little more challenging and get a stretch through the wrist and forearms, I'm going to turn the hands so that my fingers face down. And then as you do the back bend over, it's that same like southpaw stretch that we sometimes open with in all fours. Neutral and to downward facing dog. Change to boat pose. Yes, boat pose. So you're going to sit all the way down, take the feet out in front of you, extend the arms, lift one leg, lift the other leg. Hands can stay to the side or more supportive, hold underneath the knees. Do try to lift through the torso and be really wide across the collarbone. If you start to move more towards a cat back, lower the feet, try the lift again, and then restart. We're here in boat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. In this Baddha Konasana, we're going back to that sense of waves washing in and out, around and round here. Just move the upper body so that it gets in all, again, the nooks and crannies of the hips. Go in both directions. Good. And then stretch the legs straight out in front of you. Flex the feet, toes, knees, point straight up to the sky. Seated forward fold. Allow yourself to think less about alignment and specifics and just sort of the feeling of the pose, what is benefiting you here today. Okay, come back upright. I'll try to go back to mirroring, you guys. So we're going to take the right foot in, cross it over. Just an easy seated twist. We do this a lot. Elbow to the outside of the knee. Let's use that deeper hug and twist. Sit up really tall on every inhale. Kind of look to the side, maybe back over your right shoulder here. Okay, on an inhale, untwist. And now with your with your left hand, hold on to your right foot and pull the heel closer into the outer hip. The other hand, lean forward and try to grab hold of your foot. So I'm holding on to my opposite limbs. Yeah? Right hand to left foot and vice versa. Just want us to keep that in mind. That happens. Opposite holds in Tibetan weaponry 3. Good little sneak peek. Okay, and then you come out and take the left foot in and over. Do the twist first. Not an easy twist, but hopefully just a familiar twist. Elbow to the outside of the thigh. I think that's the difficult piece. Get that full twist. Try to sit tall. Tone and turn to look back. If elbow to the outside of the thigh is not working, hug the front of the shin instead. And inhale and come out of the twist. All right, so right hand now, hold on to the left foot, pick it up and pull it closer in to the outer hip and the top knee is trying to go down. And As long as that top knee is going down, just reach forward and hold on to the extended leg, to the foot. Cool. On this side, release the hands for a moment and kick your right heel towards your left seat. And then it's still opposite hands holding on to opposite feet. Lean back, put the right knee back on top, and hold on to your feet. Lean back, untwist, legs straight ahead, seated forward fold. Come all the way back up, lie down onto your back. Pull your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. Like we just did, seated, cross your right leg on top of the left and hold on to your opposite feet. Kick your heels out away from the body rather than into the body. Release the hands. Spin around, opposite leg on top. Hold on to your feet again. Kick the heels out away from the body. Release hold of your feet. Come back, knees to chest, untwisted legs. Send the right leg up to the sky, left leg down to your yoga mat. Hold on towards your ankle here. Bend the right knee, pull into your chest, and add a twist. Right knee over towards the left side. Okay, from here, can you slide your left hand down to hold on to the outside of your foot, and then stretch the right leg as straight as it'll go. The right hand can just fold out to the side like a T shape. This is the top half, the top leg for Tibetan Weaponry 3. That IT band stretch. And then bring it all back in. Knees to chest. Left leg to the sky. Shoot the right leg down. Hold on towards the left ankle. Okay, bend the knee, hug into the chest. And then take the left knee over towards the right side in your twist. Extend the left arm out. Okay, here's where you try to reach down and grab hold of the outside edge of the foot. Opposite hand to foot, and then stretch it as straight as it'll go. Release, pull everything back into the center, knees to the chest. Rock a little from side to side. Okay, take the hands back out to a T shape. Firmly rotated pose. Make the legs straight and let both legs fall towards the right hand. Sort of a jackknife position. The feet higher than the hips. Okay, and then I'm going to try to slip my right hand to hold on to the outside of the top leg. So right hand to the left foot. Bend the bottom leg, the right knee, bend the bottom leg. As you do that, can it search back towards the yoga mat? And then my left hand, I'm going to pick up my head and shoulders and try to make my left hand hold on to the right foot. I mentioned this was a complicated pose. It's just rights and lefts. How do they all work together? Opposing sides. Okay, I'm holding on to both of my feet, opposite hands. Try to move the right thigh, oof, that's hard, back towards the yoga mat. As you do that, you're likely finding quite a quad stretch. And then you add the twist in the upper body, trying to make the left shoulder and the head go back down to the yoga mat. Release the hold on your feet and untwist your way back to the center. Hug the knees into the chest. And again, we're starting this iteration from firmly rotated pose, Jatara Parivartanasana. So legs go straight up, hands out to a T. Do as much as works here. So first, the feet fall towards the left hand. And instead of catching the bottom foot, I want the left hand to catch the top foot. Keep hold of that foot as much as you can. Bend the bottom knee. Left heel tries to go towards the seat. And I'm just kind of like crawling around a little funky on the mat, trying to get the left thigh, the left knee to go back onto the yoga mat. Once I've done the best job I can with that, curl up, lift the head and shoulders, pick up the foot and take the right hand, hold on. Best job you can means you might not be holding on to the feet the whole time, but we're sure trying. And then you lie it back down, which forms a twist. Head down, right shoulder towards the mat. You've got an IT band stretch going in the top leg, a deep quad stretch in the bottom leg, a twist in the torso. Breathe. And then release. Unwind and find knees back to the chest. Rock a little from side to side. So those entry points we're emphasizing one side over the other. We're going to give this a go just one more time. Cross the right leg over the left. Hold on to the opposite feet. This time it's bottom leg first. Send the left knee down to the mat. It's the one that's more stable. And then like your right foot is more like that kickstand in side plank, lean over. And stretch the right leg as straight as you can. In this form, I'm worried less about getting my right shoulder down to the mat because I'm more twisted, I'm more lean to the left. Release and come back to the center. Cross the left knee over the right. Hold on to the feet. Send the right thigh down to the mat. This is when sometimes I let go of that bottom foot. It's not serving me, but I can still keep a good quad stretch and lean over like you're using kickstand way onto the right side and stretch the left leg as straight as it'll go. Release everything. Again, knees hug into the chest. I like happy baby after this one. We've done a lot of direct emphasis through the practice on adductors, on abductors. Paint some circles on the ceiling with your knees. Go in both directions. And any last unwinding movement, add it in. Maybe after all that stretchy, soft emphasis, you want to end with a strong inversion. You could do that here. All that softening left you ready for Shavasana. Lie on your back, extend your limbs, release here. Keeping in mind, I always lead us just for about 2 minutes in this ending relaxation. It might feel too short for you to lie back. You're always welcome to stay seated. Whatever pose feels most calm and settled to you prior to stepping off the yoga mat. I want to close us with this sentence again from the gratitude reading that's really reached out to me over and over through this month. Beneath the layers of worries, doubts, and long list of things you have not figured out, there's endless, boundless grace that gives you room to feel what you need to feel while also moving forward one step at a time. Friends that are ready, come back to a seated position. Let your palms fold in, thumbs to the sternum. Really bow into yourself, to the gratitude that you've given yourself this time for practice, this time for self-care, this time that makes it easier to be out in the world the rest of the day. And sending us forth back off the mat, the sound of Om, you're welcome. Sing along, listen, or tune it out. Empty your breath here. Take a deep breath in. Namaste.